Oh, yeah. Hi, Maria. What do you notice when we rest like this together?
A lot of movements in the body, in the mind. And they can be held And I notice that there are movements with being something to change.
Oh.
It can be also hold. It's not necessary to change.
Mm.
And it's also all can be showed. Nothing has to be hid.
Mm.
And it seems like I can feel your quietness and your freedom. And I wish you tomorrow a nice day, a wonderful day with much love.
Thank you. Good.
Thank you.
Mm. That's true. Susanna, couldn't see if you're raising your hand, Susanna, because the sun's right behind you. Okay. Definitely. Definitely.
I make you big. I'm enjoying you,
Mm.
me.
Just the flow of love, meeting love. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. What a celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Sylvie.
Hi, Isaac.
Hi.
Can you speak again? I still see that.
Sure. With pleasure.
Yes, there you are. Happy birthday tomorrow.
Thank you.
And a lot of health and love and good things for you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Would love to rest with you. Yesterday evening, I was really in tears because I wanted to go a certain way with the lawsuit Friday. And yesterday, I had a phone call with my lawyer, and he goes a total different direction now. And yeah, so I have no confidence at this moment. It's so funny because in this place, all is well again.
I'm happy to hear. I'm happy to hear.
Yeah. Then I'm thinking, what was that all about?
Yeah.
I can really see now the, oh, somebody wants to come in. There's so much peace now.
Yeah.
And yeah, then the decision, do I go with the, how I want the lawsuits to go,
Mhm.
or just stay here?
And they're not, and it's not mutually exclusive. You can see which way it moves, but from here, without getting, it's like, as far as I know, if you hire an attorney, they work for you, and it's good to be in teamwork with them, but also they need to listen to what your input is. It's clear to me.
Yeah, but he isn't, because I wanted to
No.
go, yeah, I wanted to go for the isolation of the virus and the proof of
Mhm.
it.
Mhm.
And he was open for this, and I worked really hard on this subject. And yesterday he said, no, it's not, the information is not good enough to go for Friday. So, but he's not awake totally. So he,
Mhm.
yeah. And for me, at this moment, it's the only opportunity to make a chance of win the lawsuit. Yeah.
I wonder if, I mean, just on the practical level, if you could, there was recently a very short, well, not very short, but a short and concise video from Fulmich, what's his name?
Reiner Fulmich.
Rainer Fulmich, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was so clear, and maybe if you can find a copy of that and send it to him, and just say, look, this is what's going on an international level. And, maybe he can even make contact with Rainer and see, look, because I'm sure Rainer would be interested in assisting anybody that's running parallel lawsuits.
And
Because
yeah.
he's got heaps of evidence.
And is that a recent video?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah?
It was quite recent. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll see if I can find it. I don't, like I get so many here, but
Yeah,
I'll see
I
if
know.
I can find
Yeah. Yeah.
it.
If you can find it, then I would love to.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beauty. So,
Thank you so much.
yeah, thank you. Connie. I came back when I came back in, and all of a sudden that song started. I thought my computer was playing up, and that somehow that song had come on by itself on my computer. So I was busy trying to find it to shut it down. Then I realized, oh, okay, thanks. Tony. Naima.
Hello, Isaac.
Aye.
I've actually spent a good part of the day resting with you when I can, in between
okay.
just crying.
Mm.
And it just comes back. I say, I feel I know some of the cause, but partial. And I don't know, it's okay if I say a little bit about it or.
Whatever.
There's a lot of sadness, and I think it has. I'm not sure if it matters where it's coming from, but maybe it does. So you know, my son died in August, and his fiance, she was living in Arizona, and there was nothing. Jobs and housing was just non-existent. She got an offer from a friend that she knew from when she was just in high school to come to Missouri, which is like 1,700 miles, to take care. She said, "Oh, you could come here. You have a room," because she's a caregiver for 20 years. My son's, I'm going to say his wife, because they were going to get married in 20 days. And so she's a caregiver. She says, "We have a room for you. We can pay you a salary and use of a car." So it's been a month, and my first impression was I got a really dark feeling about this place and the people. And I told her that. I said, "But you know, maybe that's just how I'm feeling. And you know, if you feel to go, you know her." Well, I knew her from a long time ago. So she drove a U-Haul truck by herself back there, and it took most of her money. And she's been there 1 month, and they haven't paid her nothing. And she finds out when she gets back there, this girl, she's 50 or whatever. She's been in prison 3 or 4 times for drug dealing. She's a gambler. And when my daughter-in-law got there, she just takes off and goes. Now, in the meantime, this woman has cancer. She just got the diagnosis today after several biopsies, stage 3, maybe 4. So she's going to be starting chemo and radiation. And then my daughter-in-law is taking care of the elderly mother who she really likes. She's such a good caregiver. I mean, anybody that would have her it's just like, she's such a gift, so kind and goes above and beyond. And these people are just, I don't know about the husband, but I can't even have empathy for this woman that just got this bad diagnosis almost. It's like, because that how she's getting treated. And if I had the money, I would pay for her to get out of there. The energy's so bad. It's like, I told her we can't even use this woman's name because I feel it in my body, Isaac. And I'm going, I don't want to be that sensitive that I feel that. But I woke up this morning, yesterday was okay. And then I woke up this morning, and then when I talked to her, she was awake. She's several hours ahead. And I was feeling apparently what she was feeling. I'm feeling her, but she's angry now. Instead of being really sad all the time about my son, she's more like angry too. She said, "I have to talk to them, you know." And I said, "Yes, you need to talk to them." And I told her, don't use her name. Don't bring that energy in. And I don't know what to do. I said, I might not be able to talk to you anymore. It's not you, but she says, we won't talk about her, but I'm kind of guiding her, you know, to maybe what to say, or I just, right now, I don't see a way out for her. And I think it's brought up other losses for me and sadnesses in the world.
I get it. And so, you know, like, I understand that you have a good intention of wanting to assist her, but somehow there's an old pattern that's taking it on. And so, you know, that's an opportunity in a way, just how to be lovingly present with her. She doesn't need more than that. She doesn't need advice. You know, you don't have to solve it for her. You're just holding her hand. That's simple.
Yeah. And I
Just
do
being
that a lot
loving.
of the time. I do
And
that.
that's cool. If it's possible, just stay with that. You know, then you're not having to pay a price. Something in you wants to help her and solve it and fix it, and then it goes into the direction of powerlessness and yeah, a whole bunch of stuff that aren't healthy for you and aren't healthy for her. So a good opportunity to play and explore, just being present, lovingly present, if it's possible.
I don't know if that's the only thing, you know, it's because I know as I was crying, I just let the tears come today and I embrace them. I said, okay, you're here. And I don't know if it's bringing up a lot of old other things, losses, disappointments, sadness in the world. You know, it just seems overwhelming today. I didn't know if I was going to even come on tonight.
So you can see that you know, there's a way that some old pattern in you engages, and it's revealing itself now. And you know, you can stay with the feelings and the ideas around it, or you can really get quiet with it and just go, okay, you know, something's playing here. It's showing me something here. And just being gentle with it, not.
How I noticed there was tears even, and I don't know if anybody maybe experiences this. I noticed I felt out of breath, almost like I had to keep taking deep breaths. This was late last night. And I was like, what's wrong? You know, it's like I'm out of breath. Something's wrong with my heart or something. And then I can feel this something churning. And when I got quieter, little bit of tears come, but not much. So I thought, I think I would feel better if I could cry. But there was no thought about it. And then finally, I thought, it's so late, I need to go to bed. So I went to bed with that. But when I woke up, it was there starting again. So I can feel it in the body, like these tears, no thought even really much going on. It's just, and I'm like, I feel like I can hardly breathe. And I was taking deep breaths, and then finally the tears started coming. So I guess what it is when that happens, maybe I'm holding my breath or the chest gets tightened. And so then fear comes up too. And they're shaking right now.
Yeah, so that shaking is usually a healthy sign. That's usually a releasing. And, you know, you just, this life is this amazing way of revealing whatever's next to be seen. And without, you know, it's just like you're here. Nothing to, you know, there's a connection through your son, and then how it feels like some. Yeah, I get it. And so, you know, at this point, just watching where your system gets involved in a way that's entangled. Yeah.
It's just, I think it's in the world and people I know, it's just like too much sadness, too much, you know, or something. I don't know.
So just stop there. There's too much. There's too much. Just slow that down.
I'm afraid to go to bed tonight, that I'll wake up and feel the same in the morning. It
Mahima,
scares me.
Mahima, just slow it down, because here
Okay.
you're just going into a loop. Yeah. You hear?
Sorry.
It's no problem. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
So you hear. And just here, just really as soft and gently as you can, right here. No projection into the future, nothing. Just here. This moment. With this family, this Sangha, this group of people. And something in your system is asking for attention. And then just recognize very gently, what quality of attention is it asking for right now? It's not wrong or bad, but just to recognize. No right or no wrong, nothing, just slowing it down enough to recognize. As we're resting here right now, attention is given freely. And then the system, like out of its habits or out of old information, takes that attention for perspective or story or something, and then the quality of attention that it gets through that filter, through that habit, you could say, just get a sense of what it produces. Just so you're just gently watching and noticing it. Because all we have to give you is our attention. All you have to give us is your attention. And very often, there's a habit, you could say, that's just has a momentum that it asks for a certain quality of attention that actually is not so healthy for us.
It starts
But
in
it's
the body. I don't know
yes.
if it's thought. I don't know if it's thought. It's like I started feeling that feel last night.
Mhm. Yeah. You see, it's last night is long gone. Right here.
So it's the same
right
feeling
now.
tonight. It's
Yeah,
similar.
so right now, the invitation I'm extending is, as we hear, just very gentle noticing of what the invitation is. So like there's this moment by moment, no, again, just the way I'm meeting you, the way I am with you right now, just where does it invite you in yourself? And when your attention goes to this loop, where does that take you, and where does it invite this whole Sangha? Just to see it. It's not right or wrong or good or bad. But very often we have habits that pull attention in a way that actually isn't healthy for us or isn't healthy for anyone around us. And just to start to make that distinction, starting to see, okay, wait. That's an old habit. Who knows where it comes from? Don't have to be loyal to it anymore. Don't have to spin it one more time. So the inquiry is this moment, now, now, now. And it just comes to my mind. Let's just go to gallery view for a moment, Weimar. Just I'm curious if anybody got some value out of this this communication between my mind and myself. Just you recognize something in yourself or whatever, just to see that this exchange for some people was valuable. So there's no right or wrong to it. It's just we all know these movements. I mean, I don't think any one of us has the patent on them. And it's beautiful when we can bring them and then we can explore and just see, wow, what happens.
I wanted to come join tonight, but part of me didn't want to. I knew that I would probably speak and I didn't want to disturb and all this stuff,
See,
you know.
You see that right there, it's like it's going into that same loop. Yeah. To me, when there's an interest in an inquiry, it always brings value. Okay, like there's this something happening in me, and I'm really curious about it, and it's like I'm interested in just being with it in such a fine way that it starts to reveal.
It starts with Isaac.
To reveal, starts to show itself, starts to
From the
show.
curiosity.
And so, yeah, and then then it's never a disturbance. It only becomes a disturbance if there's somehow an insistence on that perspective, and like you could say that something then can't hear anything else. It just goes into its loop and it doesn't matter. It's just, and I think we all know it. It's just like it's something that's just running on automatic, and it does that. I'm sure there's no bad intention in it. I'm 100% sure. But it's when we start to see, okay, wait, I see that. Okay, cool. There's something here going on, and there's something in this system that can't hold it. And so it looks for attention, but it asks for attention in a way that it kind of pushes everybody away at the same time. So it's like a very mixed message. It's like, I want attention, but it's like, I wanted So, simple.
Because the word curiosity came up today too, I know. Like, I wonder if you're just curious, and then it can stay there a little bit, and then
Yeah.
you know, it feels like you say no effort, but it felt like it was effort to keep coming back to just saying peace is my priority, coming back to peace. And I would even picture your face, just resting together, and it'd be okay. And then all of a sudden the waves would come,
Oh, sure. That's, in my experience, whenever we're dealing with old information, that's kind of how it plays. And so, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
And the Sangha as well.
Shuba.
Namaskar, Isaac.
Hi. Welcome.
If I could rest with you for some time, is that all right?
Yes, with absolute pleasure.
Can I ask you a question regarding this?
With pleasure.
There seems to be this dense rigidness behind the eyes. Does not want to dissolve. It's very strong. That any pointers for that?
You know, for people, our eyes are one of our most predominant senses, and our eyes have been conditioned to look at the world as if it's an object to us. When we're born, when we're babies, our eyes are just holes that the light comes in. But then we taught that's a tree, that's so-and-so, that's, you know, like, or everything's an object to us. And so our eyes get into the habit of looking through that dualistic focus. And of course, it has some tension to that, because there is no, you know, this, it's just a habit of attention that's been conditioned that usually doesn't get questioned. But there is a resting where the eyes can just get soft and just be holes again, and the light can just come in and don't have to interpret it in any way. Just there's this immense intelligence, you know, like expressing as a body, expressing as mountains, as trees, as everything, oxygen and ocean, and just a huge flow, you could say, just ever-changing dance. And this, you know, this, except for that habit of attention that produces a sense of being separate, a me that's separate from totality. Yeah, that's just a habit that's been conditioned. Yeah, there's something deeper and beyond that.
Eventually, it will slowly dissolve with the
Yes,
awareness.
When we were sitting together, what did you feel? Did you feel?
Very light. Very,
Yes.
very,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. Shiva. Lily.
I'm out and about today, so I'm happy to. I'm lucky to still have time. So thank you. Can you speak, Isaac, please?
Sure. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
Thanks.
I'm not sure what your name is. See, it's written Christina. What's your name?
Hi, Isaac. I'm Silvan.
Hi.
Silvan.
Silvan.
Yes, exactly.
Silvan.
Yeah, Silvan. Yeah. Yeah, Christina's back to work.
Okay.
Got a meeting.
Grüezi.
Grüezi.
Yeah.
Thank you for this wonderful emanation of peace and beingness. Really feels like a holy moment. So much stillness.
I mean, in real simple language, all anybody has is the moment. That's all anybody has. Doesn't matter if you're a billionaire or you're living on a wherever, doesn't matter. That's all we have. And then it's just, we've been conditioned how we meet the moment. And once we start to discover that there's a possibility of meeting the moment as the beloved, Sufis talk about, they use that word, the beloved. There's that capacity to,
And
then there's beauty and peace. Yeah, it's simple. Doesn't matter the circumstances, actually.
Yeah. And I know it feels like it's unavoidable in the end. No matter where you go, you always meet it. It's always.
I mean, and that's what a discovery to recognize that it's not determined by circumstances, by anything. It's just like it's just a discovery. It's just a recognition, you could say, like that.
I have a little curiosity. I mean, it's always here, but I mean, sitting with you, it becomes more palpable, I would say.
Yes. Yes.
Do you also sometimes have a little flickering of lights? You spoke about the light coming in through your eyes if you have no judgment. It feels like you don't see objects as objects anymore, and it's more like also an emanation of light. I mean, I see lights coming from your body, from everything, or just like permeates everything as well.
Yeah. Well, when you think about it, everything we eat is just converted sunlight. So, it's like, in some sense, like if I look at what we call the world, we get that all gets perceived through the senses. So what we can say is it's different frequencies of information. I mean, it's just information, and then these human senses, which sense a tiny little bit of the whole range of frequencies, then come up with through the conditioning, come up with an interpretation that this, and what's usually overlooked is that all of it's appearing in something that we can't say anything about. It doesn't have, it's always here, it's ever present. And it's this, you could say it's the screen in which everything appears. I mean, everything, time, matter, energy, space. And so all those things I just mentioned are in that. They're not, we're not, how can I say, our nature is that in which all of that appears. And it's really that way. It's not something we have to do for it to be that way. The only thing that kind of obscures it or hides it is our, something in the nervous system is functioning on old information where it goes into resistance and it meets the moment as something to put up with, or something that has to be solved or fixed or something like that. And then from that perspective, it feels like the moment is terrible, and we just have to, it's like we end up waiting for a better experience. Usually most people wait their whole lives and then they die. They never kind of really drop into this meeting the moment as the beloved. So it's
always the mind that has a little hissy fit future project.
And it's curious to say, if we really look, what is the mind? The mind is thought.
Yeah.
No thought, no mind. It's just a series of thoughts. It's not, there isn't anything that we call the mind. And it's just thoughts. And when we look at, what this, the moment there's some sense of dis-ease, there's a capacity that exists which wants to try and identify what the problem is and solve it. And so that's what we call our mind. It's just a capacity, and it's a fantastic capacity. We can build spaceships, we can build 3D printing houses. I mean, you name it. It can. So it's the capacity to solve problems, but it's like to rest quietly and beyond all problems. That's not usually, we don't get that invitation from usually our families or our culture. So we haven't been invited in a very clear way how to live our lives. We've been invited to run, to really to stress ourselves and to, So it's like, then at some moment there's the discovery of, wow, it's none of that's actually real. It's just a bunch of habits, you could say, that were carried over from our ancestry. Not really necessary, not really useful.
Yeah, and still it happens, and I think it's good to know it's just optional. You can observe it, and you could jump on it anytime if you want, but you don't have to.
Yeah, and that's, I think, that once it's not theoretical anymore, and there's direct experience of really how simple it is. Of course, the old habits will come back and play, especially when we go kind of, we live in a culture where everything's divided up into work and play, and it's all looking through these constructs they just thoughts basically. So it's like there's a momentum to that, but then once you taste it, it becomes interesting. Wow, is it possible just to live like this and not have to
I think you can be on holiday, kind of like being on holiday in the middle of work, right?
In the midst of every circumstance. So and it doesn't mean that like you're suddenly floating around the world and walking in white robes and like meditating all day long. It's just very ordinary in a certain way. It's just okay, there's I mean, it's interesting to see that when there's enjoying the moment, I could say savoring it, or feinschmecking in German, the mind doesn't, the thinking doesn't engage. It's just like you're at peace, and so and functioning can still happen perfectly well. It doesn't get in the way of anything. It's just somehow,
Beautiful. Great to meet you, Isaac.
Yeah. Thanks for saying hello.
So yeah, I just joined. I joined in. Christina told me she's doing satsang with you. I also see it's really good to ground yourself in this
Yeah.
twice a week. Or
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, you know, for most of us, the rest of our life are busy and running and so-called in time and all that stuff, and then just to take a few moments just to rest and see, okay, wow,
yeah,
all we ever want is to be at peace. Everything we're running after is so that we can be at peace. So, and that peace is actually not dependent on anything that we're running after. That running is just an old idea, basically.
and on top of that, it pushes things away.
Exactly. It's
So you have to run more. Even.
you have to run more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
Isaac.
Yeah. Thank you too.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Thank you very much.
Gosh. Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Yeah.
I wish you a wonderful, happy, healthy New Year.
Thank you. It's so funny because, like, I kind of, when that happy birthday came, I couldn't relate it to me.
So we are the same age again.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm just fine smack with you.
Yeah.
So much gratitude. Mm.
Martin.
Hi, Isaac.
Hi, Martin.
Well, as I told you the last times in the last month, more and more I had these moments just to be in the moment and love the self and have joy and peace. There's a but. Last Sunday I opened 2 exhibitions at one day, and before the weeks I had a lot of work to do and to deal a lot with other ego companies, I call it like that. So it reactivated old structures in myself.
Yeah.
The discrepancy was really hard, you know, to fall out of this, and it was really suffering to feel these old structures working. And, it was very hard to feel this. And but now I found out, even in this time, sometimes, but not very often, and now I found out I'm coming back and relaxing again. And I hope that I can do, when I have these stressful times, that I can take more and more this peace in these times, in this dealing with the world and my work. Yes.
You know, what I've seen for myself is that, you know, I think we all carry information from many generations back that's existential in nature, that our system starts to look through a feeling of pressure and like we need to run in order to survive. So it's, you know, it's an old information package, you could say, like that. And I haven't found that trying to stop it or fix it does anything useful. For me, my system was very much wired that way. And at some point there was a recognition, wait, this is just, it's a very familial pattern. And so whenever I would notice my system starting to speed up, in the moment of noticing, I would just ask, is this necessary or useful right now? And whenever I asked that question, I could see it's not. And then something in my system would just calm down, because it saw, it inquired, it actually looked to see, okay, look, this is instead of trying to change it or fix it, because underneath there was unconsciously you could say there was a big feeling that it was necessary. And so that inquiry, is it necessary? Does it bring anything useful right now? No. Then my system could relax. It didn't mean it didn't kick in again. I just had to repeat that process many, many, many times because the habit was pretty strong. I mean, and I saw my father running like that. I could see my brothers and sisters all running like that. And in fact, all of society, you could say.
Yes.
But like usually it goes in one of two directions. Either there's the people that run like crazy, and there's the people that feel like it's too much and they can't run. And they, like for them, life is too much in a way. And it's like, so it seems to go in one of those directions or goes backwards and forwards between those two perspectives. But, to really inquire, look, I'm just right here. This is it.
And when
If I manage to get all my paintings done, great. If I don't, no problem.
Yes.
If I get, whatever it is that seems so important, if you really check it, it's like, okay, well, look, I'm happy to keep doing whatever's necessary to try to honor my commitments or whatever it is, but certainly not at the expense of leaving peace.
Yes. when you try to fix it, you always come into this resistance. So it's better, like you say, just to notice it and say,
and just question in the moment. Does this bring anything good? Does this bring? Because if unconsciously it's tied to existence, it's tied to, if you don't run, you're going to die.
Yes,
that's a strong, like it has a potency to it, because it's like maybe at one point that was how we survived, but if you look at indigenous people, they're very laid back. They don't have that.
I think it's also a very strong habit, like you rest in peace, or you run, but when you run, you do it in a certain way. And then that you learn, okay, you can also run, but totally in a different way, in a relaxed way, in a way that doesn't identify with every problem or with every habit that comes on.
Exactly. So, I could say that's been interesting to me, and I've just noticed how much the system has learned to walk in life in a different way. It doesn't need to do that to itself. And this system was driven, I'll tell you, it was type A, heavy duty type A. Running was its mode. It just functioned like that, and it doesn't seem to need to do it so much anymore.
Well, thanks a lot, and I wish you for tomorrow also a very happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just a reminder for everybody that this Friday, a 1 week-long retreat starts, so that the Sunday meeting will not happen, and the next Tuesday meeting will not happen because it'll be during the retreat. So, and then after that, it'll start up again. These meetings will start again. Yeah.
How many people are we, Isaac?
25, 26 at this point. Yeah. There's still space if anybody wants to jump in. That's it'll be nice and intimate. Sylvie, thanks for hosting. Thank you all for showing up and exploring love, peace, beauty.